So you just moved to Florida, huh? Did they tell you everything you need to know? Well, let's talk about some stuff. Well, welcome to the channel. It's Randy Zadig. Today we're going to talk about some stuff that maybe you just moved to Florida and you didn't know about. So let's go over the good and the bad. So we'll start out with the good. All right, we're going to do the good stuff. Is my hair, what the heck's up with my hair today? Flying all over the place. So the beach. When you come to Florida, the beaches are always one of the things. You know, you've come down on vacation, you saw the beach, and you love the beach. Maybe you went to the inland part, and you loved, like a small town like DeLand, Florida. Or maybe you went to Orlando, and you liked Orlando. Well, the beach is one of the things that does draw a lot of people, whether it's on the west coast or the east coast of Florida. The beaches are totally different. The East Coast is a little more rough. You got waves. A lot of people surf like at New Smyrna and Ponce Inlet and places like that. Cocoa Beach, where Kelly Slater's from, one of the greatest surfers of all time, is from Cocoa Beach. Or maybe you like the West Coast. Beautiful, beautiful sunsets. The sunsets are beautiful. I mean, you just can't beat it. The water is beautiful. It's very clear. Beaches are very white. It's just a great place. So that's a good part. One good thing. The other thing is the theme parks. This is what has gotten me. The beach was my initial thing. When I grew up here, I loved the beach. I loved going surfing and skateboard all over Florida. It was just, my thing growing up. As I've grown older, theme parks are the thing I love. I love the theme parks. I love going to Universal, which you've seen my videos probably. If you haven't seen my videos, please subscribe to the channel and follow me. That's right, hit the like and subscribe button and become part of the channel and follow me as I go through Universal. We'll go to SeaWorld. We'll go to Disney. We'll do all that good stuff. So that plus more. We'll give you some other tips as well. We'll get into those a little bit later. But theme parks, I mean, this is a place. If you're coming to a state that has theme parks, this is it. This is the mecca of theme parks. Whether you want to go in like the Lion Country Safari down in South Florida, ride with, walk around, or not walk around, but ride around in your car and see these wild animals. Also, there's one in Kissimmee as well, or near Kissimmee, that does the same thing. But maybe you like SeaWorld. You want to go see Shamu. Maybe you like Mickey. Everybody likes Mickey. Mickey, Donald, Winnie. By the way, Winnie is working at Epcot now. It's my dog. He works at Epcot. My daughter Rondi works at Epcot. So if you're out there and you see Winfred the Great Dane, say hi to Winnie for me. So they're there. Also, I love Universal. Universal with the Velocicoaster, the Hager's Motorbike Adventure, all the cool stuff at Universal. I'm a big time Universal fan. And all the Halloween events, Halloween Horror Nights, Howl-O-Scream, the Enchanted Forest. I mean, there's just so much cool stuff in the Orlando area for Halloween and all the other times of the year. Christmas as well. So those is another good point. The weather. You come down here, what else can you ask for? It is always beautiful in Florida. Well, at least most of the day. Like now outside, it's raining. But we know in about 30 minutes, it'll be clear again. The sun will be shining and all that good stuff. And you say, oh, it's always sunny and warm in Florida. Well, it usually is, but there are times. And by the way, it does get cold in Florida every now and then, especially if you're in the northern part of the state. If you're up towards Jacksonville or Panama City, Pensacola, yes, it does get colder up there. They will get into the teens at times. Now in Central Florida, we may see a teen rarely. You know, we might even see a sprinkle of snow every now and then. It takes many years, but we do get to see it now. If you're in Miami, don't count on that. That's not going to happen, especially in Key West. Shopping. There's lots of places to shop. If you love to eat, you love to shop, Florida is a mecca. I'm going to say this word again, mecca of places to eat and to shop. If you're looking for places to shop, Orlando in itself has 2 prime outlets. Just everything you could ever imagine is there in these outlets, plus all the shopping malls. In Daytona, they have a Tanger outlet. So there's plenty of places to shop in the state of Florida. One of my favorite places, if you're in North Florida, is St. John's Town Center. It's a wonderful place to shop. And they have one of my favorite restaurants up there, Ted's Montana Grill. Love them bison burgers. The races. How can we say anything about the state of Florida without the racing? We got racing back here. You see all the race cars and stuff? Yeah, racing. The Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing. Yes, it is. Great, 2.5 mile track plus a 3.5 mile road course for the 24 hours of Daytona. But the Daytona 500, it's the world center of racing, and it is the great American race. That's right. And also, we can't forget about Homestead. Homestead has a great racetrack. Love the track down there in Homestead. It's a beautiful place to visit and see the racetrack. Homestead is okay. It's, not one of my favorite towns to go to, but the racing, can't say enough about it. Love it. Love it. And it's on the way to Key West. So everybody loves Key West. I tell you what, if you want to see some beautiful beaches and the water is just wonderful down there. Key West is definitely one of those places you do want to see. If you come to Florida and you move here and you just want to go down, you got to go over that 7-mile bridge, but it's worth it. Trust me. All right, so those are the good points of Florida. There's always got to be good and there's got to be bad. Okay, now let's talk about the bad. Yeah, you got to have your good and you got to have your bad. So let's talk about the bad. With every state, there is going to be crime. And Florida is no exception to crime. There are areas of Florida that are probably not the safest parts to be in. So what I would say is I would probably research the areas that you're planning on moving into or coming down to. Even if you're vacationing in the state of Florida, research it. See what the crime actually is. So that's the one thing I want to tell you, that Florida is not immune to crime. Sure, you think that it's all sitting on the beach, reading your text and looking at the ocean and everything, but it may not always be that way. So just do a little research. You'll find out. Okay. Homeless. The state of Florida does have homeless people, and for a good reason. I mean, can you think of a better place to go if you're homeless? I mean, really, it's warm all year long, almost. I've talked about that on some things. I know I talked about in the weather part that we have great weather. But there are cold months, and they do have shelters for the homeless to go into. But for the most part, you're going to see homeless people in the state of Florida. So once again, research the area that you're going to see if they don't have a homeless problem. So that's the other thing. The other next thing I want to talk about is traffic. Especially over this last year or so. A lot of people have moved to the state of Florida. Everybody from California, Michigan, New York, the major cities have all decided that Florida looked like a great location to move to. And they're still moving to the state of Florida. And for a good reason. The state of Florida is beautiful. It is. It's paradise. And they've all decided to move here. Well, before that, like in Jacksonville, you have part of I-95. I-95, let me just tell you the major highways in the state of Florida. You have I-95, which runs along the East Coast. I-75 runs along the West Coast. And I-4 runs up the middle. Now, let's talk about those 3 highways. So, from Jacksonville all the way to almost Key West, you have I-95. I-95 locks down, as I say lockdown, it becomes gridlock when I say lockdown. It's gridlock between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. and from the hours of 4 until 7, sometimes 3 in some areas. So Jacksonville, those are your areas where it's a nightmare to get around I-95. Now they do have the 295 go-arounds, but they're pretty much stuck there too. So keep that in mind. I-95 goes all the way down into the Miami area, West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, all that area. And once again, it locks down into gridlock from the same exact hours, maybe a little bit more. Miami is a very congested area. There's lots of people in Miami, and for a great reason. It's a beautiful area. In Miami Beach, whew, it's beautiful down there. You got the cruise port there, one of the major cruise ports right there. So, you know, if you love cruising like I do, Miami's a great place to go. Also, you've got over on the other side, the West Coast, I-75. I-75, once again, the same basic hours in Tampa and St. Pete. They kind of stop at the same area. You got gridlock once again in those times. So that's another thing. Now, as you get farther south, Fort Myers and stuff like that aren't as bad, but they still do congest down there as well. Now, I-4 is considered, well, was named the deadliest highway in the United States, and for a good reason. I-4 is a nightmare to drive on, especially coming into Tampa or actually going from Orlando to Tampa. That's a stretch of highway I don't even like going on. It's crazy. And then just in Orlando itself, all the way from Sanford, all the way through Orlando, out to Kissimmee, it's not fun to ride on. If you aren't used to driving on highways, this is a challenge. You've got people sitting there on their phones, reading their text, trying to drive, or they've got their phone here and they're driving with their legs, which we see this in all major cities. And we also see the Mario Kart people. You know who those people are. They're the ones that go from the right lane all the way to the left lane in one swoop, and they don't even look. And they're driving these little cars, and you just go, "Hello, McFly." So those are the people to watch out. So Orlando is no party, and I mean I-4 runs from Daytona Beach all the way to Tampa. So there's different sections around mile marker 126.6 is near Daytona. That's kind of a weird area. They've had a lot of weird stuff happen in that area. You can research that as well. There's stuff about it. And then you got just Orlando itself, nightmare. And then going from the other side, from Orlando to Tampa, another challenge. You know, you can ride out there to the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and gamble your life away. I love going out there, but I never win anything. My ancestors get all my money. Oh, well. Anyways, so always fun going out there, by the way. But so those are the bad parts. Well, wait, there's one more. Oh yeah, there's one big one I did forget about. Oh, it's called hurricanes. So you come to the state of Florida and you say, well, I just came from New York, and you know, in New York we have northeasters. Northeasters? Northeasters. So we have those things up there, and you know, when it gets like that, I just go outside and I shovel the snow in my shorts, and I just shovel the snow where it's got to go. And the wind blows a little bit. It's all good. I'm not worried about it one bit. Well, northeasters are one thing, but hurricanes are another. Let me tell you, hurricanes are not fun. In the Daytona Beach area, where I think Matthew was the last major, Irma, Matthew, I can't remember. There's so many of them come through here in the last 10, 15 years. I can't even remember them all. But I know the last one came through. There are hotels that are abandoned. They're just totally sitting there, or there's just lots completely blank. And if you ride along A1A in the Daytona Beach area, and I believe down in the Cocoa area as well, you'll see areas where there's just giant lots vacant. Why? That's where the hurricanes decide to take those hotels with them. So they didn't take them with them, but they destroyed them enough to where they had to tear them down, and they lost those hotels to hurricanes. So unfortunately, that's a bad thing. So hurricanes are no fun. Let me tell you some tips here, and I'm going to tell you some things. This is something from me. I don't like hurricanes at all. I hate them. I used to love them. I would go surfing right after everyone when I was a kid. I was like, dude, waves are going to be hot. They're going to be smoking after the hurricane goes through. Now, not so much. Now I'm like, I'm old and can't go paddling out on those big old 15 to 20 foot swells. So now I'm on the outside going, I'm old. But no, really, you've got these hurricanes that come through, and you have to be prepared for them. You have to deal with the weatherman, weatherman, whatever the forecasters, I guess you call them. You have to deal with those people, because unlike tornadoes, which I wouldn't want to be in tornadoes either. I don't like tornadoes, but a lot of hurricanes do have tornadoes in them. But I wouldn't want to be like in the Midwest where these giant F5s come through and destroy a whole city in a matter of seconds. The thing about that is you have no warning. With a hurricane, you have to deal with these forecasters telling you for anywhere between 5 and 12 days or whatever, that this little Invest 64 is nothing to worry about. And then the next day, it's got clusters. Oh, and it looks like it has a 40% chance of becoming something. And then as it goes on, it becomes Tropical Storm Bertha. And then it becomes Hurricane Bertha. And then it becomes Hurricane Bertha, that is a number 14 on the scale of whatever, It's a category 14. I'm just kidding. It's a 5. But either way, a 5 is not good. We know anything between really a 3 to a 5, we need to get out of here. So when they tell you to leave, leave. Especially if you buy property on the near the coast, or anywhere on any of the coast. They tell you leave, leave. That's the bad part about traffic. There's not a lot of places to go, and you get kind of stuck in these little things, and that's not fun either. But you do need to leave when they tell you to. Now, one thing I did talk about years ago, and I did a video on these, is these things called ply locks. You can look up my past videos, especially if you subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk about them again, I'm sure. But these little things you put on your boards, and you put them up on the window with your boards. So buy boards. I'm going to tell you that. Buy some ply locks. Buy some boards. If you don't already have hurricane shutters and pull downs, whatever, or hurricane proof windows. That's another thing too. I know a lot of people get these 180 mile per hour non-breakable windows. So that's another thing you get too. But get your windows protected either way. You want to make sure you get that done early. Don't wait to the last minute, because it is a nightmare going to Lowe's or Home Depot or Ace or wherever you're going to go to try to get wood, and everybody else has the same exact idea. So you want to get yourself, here's the things I'm going to tell you to get. You want to get the wood, get the ply locks or whatever, just put your windows protected, hold the wood to the window, Tapcons, whatever. You want to get that. You also want to make sure you get LED lights, some kind of lighting. I have got spotlights out that are solar powered, so I put them out. So if we lose power, then I still have light on my yard, in my backyard and stuff. So there's still some light. It kind of just makes it feel a lot better, because when the power's gone, it's just black everywhere. So we all know that. If we've all had blackouts at one point, but that just kind of gives me a little bit more safe feeling. So flashlights, LED, lighting of some sort to put in your house, batteries, get lots of batteries. Also get a little radio so you can listen to stuff. So like a little portable radio, so you can listen to local radio stations, guide you to this, weather radio, anything like that. A generator. If you know anything about the hurricanes, sometimes the power goes out for many, many days, maybe weeks. We had, I think not Matthew, but I think Charlie went through here, and Francis, and we were out weeks with no power. Get lots of water. Fill jugs up with water, and that way you can flush your toilets if you have to. So, and also if you got a friend that has a pool, if you don't have a pool and your neighbor has a pool, ask them if you can swim in their pool when the power goes out, because it gets hot. So anyways, make a little light of everything. But those are the main things I'm going to tell you that are bad in the state of Florida. There's a lot of bad, but there's more good. And that means the good outweighs the bad. So if you're worried about hurricanes, move inland. Move to Orlando. Move to, anywhere inland. Just anywhere off the coast. And, you'll get wind. Sure, the hurricanes will come across the state and they'll blow everything all around, and you'll lose your fence and, maybe your roof or whatever, a tree or two. But unlike the coast, you're not going to have water in the house in some of these places. So it doesn't happen all the time, but it can happen. So just to keep you aware of that. That's why I say evacuate when they tell you to. So I hope you've enjoyed all my tips and your intro into the state of Florida. And if you're planning on coming down here, I hope to see you at the theme parks. If you see me at any of the theme parks wandering around, say hi. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel and follow me as I make my journey through different places. So, all right, guys, have a great one. We'll see you next time. And so long from the Sunshine State.